Thanks for joining me today on what I eat in a day. I have lost 38 pounds on Trim Healthy Mama, and I've had several people write to me that these videos are really helpful, and I've got a lot of people that are doing the challenge between January 1st and the end of June. So in addition to my homesteading videos, since I eat every day, I'm going to try to make more of these videos in hopes it'll just give you some additional ideas on things that I eat and things that I try that help me lose weight. So today I'm going to be making a recipe out of the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. And this is called eggs and ovs. So this is going to be really easy. I usually have kind of a scrambled egg kind of meal with vegetables and all that, but today I'm going to do more of like a fried egg with avocados. And I think the picture looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be really good. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to start off by coating my pan with some cooking spray. Now it says coconut spray, but I just ran out of it, so I'm just using regular cooking spray. And while this heats up, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my avocado. Now this recipe calls for a half of an avocado, but the one I have is so tiny that I am gonna go ahead and just use this whole avocado. And I'm hungry today. The recipe says you can have 2 to 3 eggs. I'm gonna have 3 eggs. I am starving. So all we're gonna do is break open our eggs and put them in our skillet on medium high and get those frying up. I don't think my skillet's quite hot enough, but it will be in a minute. All right, so we're gonna sprinkle our eggs with some salt and pepper. I love this, grinder so much because you can make your pepper as large a chunks or as small as you like. And I'm gonna put, it says on the mineral salt to taste, I'm just gonna put a little pinch. For some of you that watch my channel, you know I love this everything but the bagel sesame seasoning. So I'm gonna put that right over my avocado. Just sprinkle a little bit of that on. It's so delicious. All right, our eggs are starting to cook. And what I find is that they cook a lot better if I add like a tablespoon of water to the pan. Now you fry your eggs up any way you like. I'm gonna put a lid on mine and just turn the heat down a little. And there you go. We're gonna let those cook up. I've got them on a 3, and as soon as they're done, then we're gonna go ahead and show you how I'm gonna prepare them to have them for breakfast. Okay, my eggs are done just the way I like them. If you like to turn yours, make yours any way you like. This is kind of how I make my fried eggs. This is how my grandma did it, and they just come out really good. I learned a lot of things from my mom and my grandma. All right, there you go. And I do get a lot of comments about using stainless steel pans, that I should get non-stick or Teflon. I really like the stainless steel. And I find that if I just soak them after I cook for 5 or 10 minutes, they clean up really good. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of nutritional yeast to my eggs and avocado. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, not much, maybe a half of a teaspoon. Just kind of pour it right over the nutritional yeast. And then the recipe calls for adding 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna put that right over the eggs and the avocado. You're gonna pour that right over your eggs. And there you go. Breakfast is served. This is considered an S meal on Trim Healthy Mama, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. So I'm actually gonna take a bite of the egg and the avocado, just so I can see how they taste together. I'm gonna have this tomorrow also. This is super good. So this is what I'm having for breakfast. So I'm gonna be preparing S meals for my dinner. I'm gonna be making a dish called hubby lovin chicken. And we'll see later if hubby loves that chicken. And the other thing we're gonna be making is some sweet, creamy coleslaw. Now, I don't know about you, but I love chicken and coleslaw. So for me, this is gonna be a great dinner. Now to make this super simple, I already bought my cabbage and carrots already shredded, so I don't have to do much work at all. Just throw it together and then I'm gonna let it marinate in the refrigerator while I get my chicken ready. So this recipe calls for 4 to 5 cups of cabbage and carrot. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this whole bag in. I know this is just gonna work out great. All right, we're gonna add our cabbage mixture to our bowl. Then we're going to be adding 1/4 cup of mayonnaise to this mixture. We're also going to be adding 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Now, I make my own apple cider vinegar and this stuff is so good. I make it from the Fuji apples off my trees and it is just delicious. So we're going to put 1/4 cup of vinegar in. And then we're going to be adding some onion powder. And the onion powder, we're going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to be putting in some mineral salt, and the recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of mineral salt. It also calls for some cracked black pepper. You just do this to your taste. I'm going to substitute monk fruit sweetener because this is my favorite type of sweetener. So I am going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of this. And that's it. This is not a real complicated recipe. It's very easy. Now, it also says in the directions that if you want some coleslaw that has more mayonnaise, you can definitely put in 1/2 cup instead of 1/4 cup. Now, I'm gonna see how this goes. I may add another 1/4 cup to it. This is also gonna kind of marinate in the refrigerator for a couple of hours until my chicken's done. So I'm gonna just set this aside, cover it up, put a little bit more pepper over the top. All right, in the fridge it goes. Now we'll get started on our chicken. We're gonna make a chicken called hubby lovin chicken. It sounds very good. I've actually never made this before, but it sounds delicious. And this is something that we're gonna actually bake in the oven. And it's an S meal, so it's gonna complement our coleslaw. And so let's get started. Now you can make this, they call for either chicken thighs, drumsticks, or chicken wings. And I'm gonna be making this with drumsticks. All right, we're gonna start off by melting 3 tablespoons of butter. And then we are going to pour that over our chicken and make sure that all the chicken is completely coated. All right, we're gonna pour our butter right over our chicken. Just like so. And then we're going to make sure that all the chicken is evenly coated in the butter. So I'm going to have to wash my hands actually. Some of this butter re-solidified. That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. All right, it calls for 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. I'm going to put a little bit of that in. And then it calls for 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now in the directions it said that the best cheese to use is actually this green cheese. All right, now I'm gonna put this in the defrost in the microwave for about 5 minutes. I want this butter to get a little bit more melted. Okay, now we're gonna add some other ingredients. We wanna put a half a teaspoon of black pepper. We're also gonna be putting some more mineral salt in this. I took my other teaspoon and already put it in the sink, so I'm just gonna use a little teaspoon out of the cupboard here. Then it calls for some paprika. We're gonna be putting in a teaspoon of paprika. Uh-oh, goodness gracious, I'm like all fingers today or something. All right, so a teaspoon of paprika. Then we're gonna be putting in some oregano and garlic powder. All right, we're gonna be adding a teaspoon of garlic. This is some garlic with parsley. Our Greek oregano. Well, it doesn't call for Greek, but this is what I have growing. I dehydrate a lot of my own herbs. So I'm gonna be putting some Greek oregano in, and this is half a teaspoon. And this is the oregano out of my garden. And a little bit of parsley. All right. Now you can opt to put in some cayenne powder. I'm not gonna put it in because I don't particularly like cayenne. I do like several different kinds of hot sauces and I love jalapenos, but I'm not a big fan of cayenne pepper. So I don't really know why, but the way it is, I guess. I don't know, we all have something. All right, so you're just gonna give this a good stir. You just wanna mix up all your dry ingredients. My chicken is out hopefully the butter's a little bit remelted. That is just so odd that happened. It must have been really cold in my refrigerator, I don't know. All right. So now's the easy part. We are gonna take our sprayed pan. We got our pan here. I'm gonna try to repurpose these gloves because I've put my gloves on now twice. Okay, so we're gonna take our chicken that's been all doused in this butter and we're just going to coat it with this Parmesan cheese mixture. And my butter isn't completely melted yet, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna just do my best. Kind of impressed. I love this kind of coated chicken. It's just one of my favorites. They have one at Aldi that I get. It's, well, they've got several flavors, but I love the barbecue chicken one. And I think it's the Chef's Cupboard brand. It's just so good. And right now, I have had it on Trim Healthy Mama, but in all honesty, I'm trying to stick to this plan the best I can because it seems to be working for me. And I just really want to hit my goals at least by summer. That's really what I've been shooting for. I will be adding some sourdough bread to my menu in the next month. So I haven't made sourdough bread now for about 6 months because I started the program and just didn't really want to do any bread at all. But I'll be honest with you, it says that you can have sourdough on the program, so I'm gonna start making it again. I made it for a long time and I really enjoy it. I have to say, I'm impressed. This looks pretty yummy. All right, so I'm gonna stick this in a preheated oven at 375 and I'm gonna cook it for 40 minutes. I am gonna keep an eye on it and I'll bring you back when it's time to serve all this. Well, the chicken is done, the coleslaw is done, everything smells amazing in this house. I can't wait to try this. So let me get it out of the oven and show you how it came out. Well, this is my chicken. I ended up turning it about 10 minutes ago just because I wanted to make sure that the back side of the chicken got nice and browned as well. And I'm so glad I used this little foil because look at that. Ta-da! And here is my coleslaw and my chicken. All right, we're gonna start off with one big piece of chicken each. Smells so good. And as I've said in other videos, we eat a lot of cabbage, at least I do. I really love cabbage. I grew up on it, and it's just so good for you. It's such a good fiber. So first we're gonna try the coleslaw. That is so good. Now the chicken. That's some of the best chicken I've ever had. That is, you don't need to diet and have things taste terrible. They can taste amazing. You've got to try this Trim Healthy Mama. This is a really good dish. It's gonna be a great dinner. So thanks for joining me tonight. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and ring the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.